Hey everybody, Steve here again, and in this video we're going to talk more about upper body. We're going to talk about those of you that may have that sort of hunched, rounded shoulder look. Maybe you have some pain in your shoulders when you're trying to do overhead movements, and you're trying to press weights over your head, and you get some issues with your shoulders, and that's what this video is going to be about here. So. Kind of like last time, first of all, if you have any severe pain in your shoulders, any real sharp joint pain that's been bothering you for a long time, it may be best to consult a medical professional and to get a closer look at it to make sure there's no serious issues that would be hard to identify here in the gym. But assuming that it's nothing serious and that you feel comfortable proceeding with a personal trainer, maybe you've consulted with your doctor and they feel that you just need to do some corrective exercises to fix it up, then this video may be for you. So it's important to recognize that a lot of these posture conditions are interconnected with each other. So a rounded shoulder, so we're talking about this rounded shoulder look where my shoulders round forward, my upper back gets hunched, and maybe it's coupled with a forward head posture type of thing, where like I'm looking at the computer screen, it's drawing me in, from sitting at a desk too much, have a seated job. That can oftentimes be connected, closely related to what's happening with the hips, because oftentimes when the hips, we get the anterior pelvic tilt going, it's coupled with the forward posture, and these things kind of influence one another. So a lot of times, when we have one postural irregularity, it leads to another. So just wanted to mention that first. But when it comes to the forward rounded shoulder look and the hunchback posture, it's going to come down to muscle imbalances in general. So again, in a recent video, I talked about antagonist muscle groups or opposing muscle groups and how certain muscle groups, if they're too tight, can pull you in a direction that makes it hard to activate other muscle groups, therefore leading to muscle imbalances and poor posture because there's uneven forces on your back and your shoulders. And that's exactly what causes these issues with our postures. So usually when we're talking about the forward rounded shoulders, we have too much tightness here in the front. Maybe there's people who have these tight chest muscles, their shoulders are tight, maybe their neck is tight, which is these tight neck muscles are maybe pulling your shoulders up this way. And then that's usually coupled with weak or inactive mid-back muscles that are not strong enough to work against the tight chest and shoulder muscles, and therefore we're getting pulled forward, whereas if we had stronger back muscles and maybe more loose and free-moving chest and shoulder muscles and neck muscles, or certain combinations of those, then our shoulders may be able to sit back and we may have better posture. So, and then when it comes to overhead movements, you can just imagine when I'm trying to do an overhead movement but my shoulders rounded forward, it's very hard to get my arms up here because I've got this shoulder that's rounded forward, and then my joint's not able to perform the exercise correctly. Whereas if I had better posture in my mid-back, it's a lot easier to now do these overhead movements. So when we're talking about this, there's a few muscle groups that we need to look at. We need to make sure that your chest is not pulling you forward too much, so we need to do things like chest stretches. We need to look at a wide variety of shoulder exercises, and then we need to bring balance to the area by strengthening your mid-back, your upper back, the back of your shoulders, the rear deltoids. A lot of times when it comes to your shoulder, we have overdeveloped front or anterior deltoids, and then the posterior or rear deltoids are weak, and that imbalance between muscle groups leads to more force pulling us forward. So oftentimes we want to do more training for the rear deltoids, and also, in addition to the major muscle groups we're talking about, we also need to talk about the rotator cuff muscles, which is a group of muscles surrounding the shoulder joint that's in charge with external rotation, or the shoulder joint rotating outwardly, and internal rotation. And a lot of times the forward rounded shoulder look is associated with our shoulders being influenced too much by internal rotation, and we need to do certain rotator cuff exercises that are going to help us to externally rotate our shoulders so that they don't turn inward and they're able to rest in a more natural position. So we want to look at more external rotation exercises as well. So we have our chest, we have our neck, we have our rotator cuff, and we need to bring more strength to our mid-back muscles. And just in general too, just doing the exercises here in the gym is not going to be enough to fix our posture, because we also need to be conscious about how we're sitting throughout the day. I want to, walk around with better posture throughout the day. It sounds a little bit weird to be always thinking about this, but if you just imagine there's a string attached to my sternum or my chest plate that's always pulling me straight up to the ceiling, then I'll generally stand with better posture. And if I could practice that more throughout the day, that will also help. So. If you're that person who's in the gym and constantly having shoulder pain, it may be time to lower your weights a little bit. Try to focus on activating some of those muscle groups in your back, maybe that rear deltoid muscle, maybe doing more rotator cuff exercises that can strengthen some of those muscle groups that have become a little bit dormant over time and underused, and to try not to continue doing so many pressing motions and so many exercises that involve, tightening up the front of my body and rounding my shoulders forward. That way we can bring more balance to our shoulders. So remember when we were talking about antagonistic or opposing muscle groups, if I'm doing too much work on one side, that not only is it going to pull me forward just because of these muscles being tight and strong, it also has another negative effect, which is going to inhibit or stop me from properly activating my back muscles, because I'm getting pulled in the opposite direction, and it's going to be hard to get good contractions in the back muscles. So this is a pretty common issue. We see a lot of people with the rounded shoulder look coupled with the forward head posture, and this is something that I just wanted to talk about for you guys, and just give you some insight into how we think as personal trainers when it comes to trying to correct posture. And we can help you come up with the right exercises that are going to support you with better posture and make your trips to the gym more worthwhile. So hope this video was somewhat helpful for you guys, and if you have more questions, feel free to send them to Brian or myself, and we'd be happy to give you more information about how we go about fixing this problem. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
I would love to hear what you liked best about this video. So down below, you'll see a comment section. Just leave your comments, and I want to thank you so much for the comments you've been leaving me over the months, and I've been getting back to filling those out. Also down below in the description box, you'll see a link, and in that description box with that link, you want to click it, and it's going to take you to another page where you're going to get 4 free workouts. To get those 4 free workouts, you just have to enter your email address. So go down below, click the link, and we're gonna get you those workouts right away by entering your email address. Also, down below, make sure you click the subscribe button so you get updated when we release all this great content. So thank you again for tuning in. Thank you so much for your comments. Go get your free workouts, and you guys make it a great day.